I'm going to do a video today on, I don't know why I say it today. It was like, you could watch this 3 days in a row. And it could always be for that day. I'm not. Anyway. So, I'm making this video for people who struggle with finding when they should attack or go on the offensive. This is something I struggled with 10 years ago when I first started getting into fighting games, and I used Dust Loop when I was playing Blaze Blue, the very first Blaze Blue, and I always struggled. I had always struggled with when I should hit back. I went to the forums, and I remember this memory because like it sucks. Like nobody had like a real answer until like this one guy came through like a week later. But you know, I was asking like, when do I hit back? And I was just getting like this, I'll just get good, or like you'll feel it out, or you know, or just answers that didn't help. That wasn't helping me or anybody else who might have had the same question. But here we are, and we're gonna talk about it in this game specifically. So when to attack back. Again, if you don't know about frames, please go learn about frames. It's all over Google. It's all over YouTube. I'm sure somebody will. There's plenty of guides for frames. Anyway, so talking about frames in this game. Most notably, your turn to attack, most notably, is going to be, if we're talking on a 1v1 situation, or, you know, if your opponent doesn't have any assist, most notably, your time to attack is after a special move. Not all, looking at you, Goku Blue, not all, but some special moves are negative on block. As you see here, if I do light dive, it's -5. Meaning, if he chose to do 5L, which is 6 frames, I think, for Goku Blue? Yeah, 6 frames startup. If he chose to do 5L, I have 1 frame there where I can try to press a button, I'm just gonna get hit. It's not good for me. Like, it's not my turn anymore. I shouldn't be trying to hit him. I'll just show you what happens if you try mashing a special move. That is not plus. So we'll have Goku Blue do the shoulder. His shoulder's -5. And he's able to block. Because I have a 6 frame startup, and he's only -5. So he gets a chance to block. He's safe. Shoulder's safe. Deal with it. Nobody has faster than 6 frames. So what happens if he does shoulder into 5L? He gets hit. 100% gets hit. Because like I said, he's negative. It's not his turn anymore. He lost his turn. We'll get to that in a second. But if he tries pressing 5L, his turn's over. Now let's talk about what he can do. What are his options? What are his options if he does decide to do shoulder into, let's say, reflex? What happens if he does shoulder into reflex? Now, if you've already done the math while you're watching this, you know what's gonna happen. Well, got reflected. That is an option that he has. And if he's utilizing that, that can be very scary. That can be extremely scary, especially given your position. Go ahead, I'll wait. Tell me that's not scary. You can't tell me that if you see him do a special move and you're like, all right, cool, it's my turn. Let me just get in there, start pressing some buttons, man. It's my turn. No. He will shut that down, and you'll be reevaluating your life and just going like, oh man, I can't. Why did he do that? Like, this guy's a nut. Like, how did? No, bro. If a player is doing that, they know. They already know. Let's look at another option he could do. He could do shoulder into vanish. And this is something you're gonna have to test with different characters. Not every character has a true vanish block string. And by that, I mean like him doing vanish can still get reflected, I believe, on shoulder. Maybe not? See, I don't... Okay, yeah, there's a gap in there. He can definitely get reflected for doing that. Oh. That's right. Shoulder's 5 frames. Shoulder's -5. And then if you do vanish, that takes 4 frames. So yeah, there's 1 frame. There's 1 frame in there that allows me to reflect. If I miss that 1 frame, then I got nothing. But yeah. And that leaves him at -12 after that, after I reflected him. Interesting. But I'm not close enough. Reflect, you know, pushes you so far away. One more option that he could do is backdash. So we'll have him backdash afterwards. Medium caught. I didn't expect medium to catch. You get hit by that. And you know, these are all things that you can use as your offense as well. This isn't this isn't a purely defense thing. Like all these options that I'm showing you can definitely be used as offense as well. This game is excellent at showing you the frame data, which is pretty cool in my opinion. One last thing he could do. That can be used as offense as well. It sucks when somebody does that, but it's definitely, it's 100% a thing. Because it's invul on startup. Like, you see my 5L out there, and I still get hit. My mans does not want to... He doesn't want to let go of the pressure. There are some people who play like this constantly. Constantly. Like, this is something... I just said constant. Constantly. This is something people do constantly, okay? They do it. And if they always do it, then you gotta know, like, if they're gonna do reflex after a special move and this is our last character, like, you're gonna have to know that they're gonna do that and just wait for it and just punish the crap out of them. This is something that it depends on the person that you're fighting. Alright, next we're gonna talk about overheads, getting hit by if you block an overhead. Typically any move coming from the air, if you are already grounded, or it's even worse if you're already in the air, you're negative. Or like they're gonna be hella positive if they hit you. Because like me doing IAD medium right there puts me at a 7-frame advantage. 7-frame advantage. Or if I do medium light, I get 8-frame advantage. Something that's really helpful in this game, and I touched a little bit on this in the throw video that I did. If you are guarding and they just keep applying as much pressure as possible, like really fast, like if they don't leave a gap, if there's no gap in the string of attacks that they're doing, the game will block it for you so long as you control up or down. I'm gonna have Goku do a long string if possible. Actually, let me get Vegeta. It'd be easy for me to do Vegeta. I'm gonna have Vegeta do a long string without going low. Alright, so he's not doing a low attack. I'm gonna hold back and just let my hand off the controller. I'm even gonna tap like up or something so you can see it at the top left. Like I'm mashing up. Or let me just start blocking. The game is blocking it all for me because it's all a true block string. So you need to be careful of this when you go to do, if you're trying to mash reflect, there's only one way to input reflect. And that is 4S. That's holding back and pressing S. This is the only way to get reflect out. You're not gonna get reflect out if you're holding 1S. Like if you're holding down back and just pressing S. You get that. Or whatever the hell your 2S is. Or maybe some character. No, I don't think there's any character that has like a 1S. No, a 1M maybe, but anyway. Yeah, you need to be careful of that because if you're not, this is what happens if you're mashing reflex. Like it's all a true block string, but you're gonna get hit. Like you're not blocking low, and it opens you up. Like, I can stop blocking here, and I get swept because I'm not controlling up or down. And the game will automatically block for me if I hold straight down. Like, all I have to do is just hold down once he like starts that string. But again, this is if he's doing a no gap type of pressure string. And this is something you want to pay attention to with how people play. If somebody's always doing gapless strings, we'll just call them gapless strings. That's a great idea. Yeah. So if somebody's always doing a gapless string, it's a little less pressure off of you. You don't have to worry about reflecting because you're not gonna get it. Just worry about blocking high or low. And then worry about what comes after what they do for, their form of pressure. Like, is their pressure always the same? Do they always do 1, 2, 3 assists and then try to like mix you up? Well, that could be a thing, Maybe from the assist though, if they incorporate the assist as a true block string and then go for high low, that's just the game will block it for you. Just depends on where you're up or down, if it's gapless pressure. Let's talk about some other types of pressure here. Let's talk about stagger pressure. Stagger pressure can be one of the most difficult things to deal with if you're not patient, if you can't react fast enough. You're just gonna have to practice. It's hard. It can be hard. It can be hard. The stagger pressure is when your opponent presses a button, they wait for you to have at least one frame. They give you one frame to do something, and then they hit a button again. What happens is that when they allow you to have a frame, and if you are caught trying to press a button that isn't something that benefits you, such as a level 3 or a reflect, and at the same time they're pressing that button, you're gonna get smacked, and that's called a frame trap. Frame traps suck if you get caught in them, and I'll show that right here, what a frame trap is. And we can do this. You can practice your pressure E2 in training mode with this type of setup. You can have them block, and then you can set your opponent to do counterattack setting square. That's gonna be the fastest thing that comes out. So, because it really doesn't matter anything that's faster than 6 frames or 5L. So I left some frames open. For them to press a button, and you guys saw that 21 got countered. It's just she can't press anything, or she can't press any like attack buttons, or I guess 5L, 5S, medium, heavy. Like none of those buttons are going to work. So she's gonna have to do reflect. She can reflect. She can't vanish. And why is that? Because if they're only leaving like 1 frame open, vanish is 4 frame startup. So you're gonna get hit. You're literally gonna get a hit for trying to match vanish out. She can level 3. And I believe that's it. Backdash, depending on how tight their stagger pressure is, you may be able to backdash out of it. Yeah, that I was able to get away from. Don't get hit. One situation that comes up a lot constantly that I cannot stress enough to deal with is doing jump S or any type of like key blast energy into vanish. That is totally reflectable. You don't have to deal with that. If somebody wants to do this just to get in, you need to punish that. Or not, maybe not punish, but you need to like not let them continue their pressure, because vanish is +4. Don't press anything. Vanish is +2. Okay, yeah, vanish is +2, which means if they're plus, they're plus. Like the only thing you can do is reflect or level 3, maybe backdash. Yeah, backdash 2. So if you ever see somebody do key blast into reflex, when key blast hits, it allows you to immediately reflect. It allows you to just immediately reflect. Whether that's a good idea or not, it's just doable. Like, you can do it. I'll show you some situations where it is a bad idea in just a second. So let's have him do key blast. You can reflect that. You do not have to eat key blast into vanish for them to get a +2 situation on you for free. Like, just don't do it. Don't let them do it. It doesn't even have to be in a corner. The reason why I am showing you in the corner, though, is a pro bonus tip. Is if they do it while you're in the corner, you can punish them for doing that. He can't do anything about that. Like, that's a straight up punish. I should have did 5 medium there, but you can feel it on your own. That's your time. So what I was talking about earlier in a second with the mashing key reflect after a key blast. Like, let's just say you're mashing reflect throughout the whole string. You're just mashing reflect, and I'm just sitting here trying to mash reflect as soon as possible. Well, I just put myself at a -21 position. I'm playing 21 and it's -20. Anyway, so yeah, you don't always want to mash reflect. If they're doing stagger pressure and they're not using a key blast, or if they're doing a certain string, you know the key blast is coming up, don't reflect during that key blast. Or if they're doing stagger pressure, you know, like we said earlier, you can reflect it. It's just, these are all things you're gonna have to think of while you're in the middle of a fight. There are answers. There's 100% answers. It just matters on which one you choose, which is the best option while you're in the middle of a fight. Yeah, so I can just show you what the punish would look like. Yep, that's me getting punished right there, because I was mashing reflect, and my reflex did not reflect the key blast. The key blast just allowed me to start reflecting, because that's what key blasts do. All key blasts do that. It just allows you to start reflecting. If you already block it, it just opens you up to doing reflect. And it's such a weird mechanic, but that's how you can bait. You just saw the bait. That's how you can bait people sometimes into, you know, getting a reflect out of them. I do this with 21. I'll do key blast into 2H. He's not. You can test some things to punish too in this training mode here, just by changing the counterattack. Yeah, so there he's always doing reflect. Or I can do, yeah, 2H. There's answers for what you can do while you're in block. And just pay attention to how your opponent is playing. And know what's negative, what's positive. Like, if you don't know that this move is plus on block, you're gonna get messed up. But think about it when you're in the middle of playing. Like, if you get hit by something like that, if you get hit by that and you try mashing buttons because he did, you know, a special move and he's still pressing buttons and you got beat out, just try not to get frustrated. Just think about, oh, well, maybe that was plus. Oh, I was in the front. See, like, I can't press buttons there. I get beat out. But the thing about that move specifically is that you can just 2H it. So, you know, things like that are definitely in the game, thankfully. Because a special move that's plus on block would be horrendous. Looking at you, Gotenks 236H in the past. Ugh. Yeah, it costed a bar, but no, it's still plus now, I think. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, it's still plus 1. So in the air, I've noticed that special moves allow you, if you block it in the air, people are still plus. Oops. Or people are negative. Like, they're more negative than they were on the ground if they block it in the air and then land. Oh, let's just see what he has. He's negative. Yeah, you're +1 for doing that. Like and this move is normally -5. So that goes to show that because he blocked it in the air and then landed, he had more frames to recover from. Or Goku had more frames to recover from. Leaving you at a +1. And it's important to know that because when you're plus, and if there's a gap, he's gonna get hit. If, you know, if the situation was him mashing 5L, he's gonna get hit. This also helps with people who mash in block strings. If you stagger them properly, they cannot mash 5L out of block string. And if you get hit, that's on you. That's not on them for, oh, all he does is mashing. No, that's on you because you let him do that. You need to, if your stagger pressure wasn't tight, that's on you. One technique you need to be careful of is the, when I'm streaming, I like to call it the anime no-no. It's basically when you do IAD and you whiff a button. It's not your turn. It's not. If you do that, you're -1. Because you can't do anything else until you hit the ground, if you're like, you know, that low. But once you do hit the ground, then you can start. But if you look here, like just jumping, is -1 already. So your opponent is already plus. So if you whiff a button near them, and then you try to press a button, it's not gonna work well for you if they know that it's their turn. So I'm gonna try to have him whiff a button here. Yeah, he can just go right overhead, and then just 5L. See, I took too long to press the button, but we clashed. Or, not clashed, but we traded. And he gets countered. It's because he's too busy whiffing. I'm trying, yeah, he's already -1, so when he goes to press that button, he's just, it doesn't work out well for him. This situation, it could be manipulated. If you do a button, if you're like too far from the person, and depending on what normal you bust out, or maybe your opponent didn't think you were gonna whiff, maybe they thought that they were gonna get hit on their way down, that definitely opens them up. A lot of people do this with Bardock in the corner. It's definitely easy. With 21, it's easy. I can whiff IAD light and then go into low. Like, you're gonna go high looking for the block stun animation and like blocking high, and it's not gonna happen. And you're gonna be standing up there, or yeah, you're gonna be standing up and you get hit by a low. People do it a lot with Bardock's IADM. The first hit of IADM typically whiffs on crouching opponents. It's like if they're already crouching and then they go high. No, not guard. No, enemy settings. Yeah, oh, okay, there we go. Crouch. Yeah, so if they go high like that, like, they'll stand up thinking they had to block something. So yeah, but me whiffing that right there, this whole instance of me whiffing that, means the moment that he landed, it was Goku Blue's turn. Like, Goku Blue could have did something if he wanted to. So just be mindful of that. So that's all I've got for you. Hopefully this has been a huge insight for you to think about during your fights. Watch replays. Go look at, if you can't figure out a situation and where you could have pressed a button, you need to go to your replay and try to replicate that situation as much as possible. Also, it's very important to remember that it doesn't matter what you do in these long strings, it only matters what the last hit was. As far as like, if you're trying to figure out, okay, well what if he did like 2M into 5M? Like that matters, but if the string was like key blast into 2H, and you're only worried about what happens like after he does 2H or 5H, like just do 2H. Just do 2H or 5H. Like, it's just go from there. You know, me doing 5L, 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 medium, medium into H, it's not going to change the frame data because if he hits you with H, that's H. It's not 5L. If that makes sense. And yeah, that's all I got for you. So good luck. If you have any questions or if you need another or more explaining, if you need better explanation on anything I've talked about here, feel free to ask. Feel free to join the Discord too, and we can talk about it there. Or leave a comment. I'm watching that like a hawk. I watch comments like a hawk because we're small YouTube right now. Yeah. Just squishy that. All right, thank you guys. I'll see you later.